Hey everybody, welcome to the audio commentary slash video commentary of the Redwood Massacre. My name is Liam Matheson. I'm one of the producers of the film. With us today we have Lisa Cameron, Lisa Livingston,
Well, it was me there.
and Mark Wood.
Hi. That lassie looks scared.
So what we're going to do today is going to do like a little sort of test commentary to see how we get on with this. This was Paige in the Redwood Massacre. This girl was 16 at the time of making this, and she was ready to be an actress. And after we shot this movie, she decided she didn't want to be an actress anymore. So that's a good start. So there we go. Does any of you guys have any experiences that you'd like to share from the making of this movie?
I had really bad nightmares for about a week after it, and yeah, I'm still waiting to find out what Clear Focus Movies lawyers. Nammo John. No, it's funny seeing it all back because the last time I watched this was a good while ago now. I can't really remember the first 20 minutes of it. I remember everything else, but the first 20 minutes, can't really remember.
You just watch the bits that you're not in. They would watch the bits that you are in, you just ignore the rest. I see how it goes. One of the things I always sort of think about is the fact that when we started shooting this movie, it was like in the middle of summer and all you were wearing summer clothes.
Yes.
And then by the end of it, it was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Lisa Livingston, you actually had the opportunity. You actually had more stuff with you. Like your character has like a big jacket on at some point.
Well, here's an interesting fact, Liam. Like you mentioned, it was the middle of summer when we started filming. However, when we finished filming, particularly my scenes, we were sort of edging into autumn. And for those of you who don't know, autumn in Aberdeen is feckle. I started the film fine, but I ended up with at the end of the film with chilblains in my feet because it was so cold. And that was when we were doing, when we get into the film we'll see it, in particular when I was doing my When I Die. If I just gave away
if people start watching a movie with the actual commentary on, that's kind of a strange thing to do, so
whatever.
We're hoping we're just enjoying
so
this.
when I kicked the bucket, it was we did it in a barn, if I remember correctly.
Yes, correct.
It was absolutely freezing, and I was wearing like these really thin socks, boots, like, and covered in blood, covered in fake, awful, just horrible planes by the end of the film. So that's what I took away from Redwood Massacre.
And
Emotional, mental, and physical.
And some chocolate. What were your connections with this guy? This is a good old Lee Hutchin, who was also in the movie for quite some period of time. I'll come to stories about Lee later on, but it was an interesting last day with him. With quite a few drinks beforehand. Mm-hmm. And it's about to be the first entrance of one of our actors here, which is Lisa Cameron and Rebecca. Rebecca who can't.
Lovely Rebecca.
But it's interesting as well that one of the things that came from this film is that there was a lot of people, a lot of like views of this movie in America, which has actually led to the reason that we have a sequel. But it's been such a massive like cult hit, strangely. But I think one of the things me and David in a previous film that we worked on, that Mark you were in as well, we had criticism that the film was too much of a comedy and not enough of a horror. So we decided to go completely with your characters. So, also another interesting shot about this was David took the shot of Adam here, and he thought the camera was squint, but it was actually the way that Adam was standing the whole time.
Yeah, he does stand a little bit off to one side. See, what's funny though is where that was shot, the riding's the bit in Hazelhead, along the road there. That's all getting redeveloped just now. And
Oh, was it?
Years, all well, not that bit of the forest, but the other side might not be there. But what's mental as well, that whole bit here. I'm just waiting to see the T-shirt. Hey, here's it. How cool! Where did that T-shirt come from? Does anyone know?
That was actually my T-shirt. It was a Christmas present from Lindsay, and I wore it for the first shoot and tried on the costume. And Dave was like, "Actually, could you just wear that?" So it's all slashed up and bloodstained somewhere in the house.
It's so funny though. There was one day we were from, and I was like, I don't think I registered what it said on the T-shirt, and then I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
And Lisa as well, like your character comes out as such a bitch in this movie that a lot of people that I've watched it with, they wanted you to survive because they were like,
Which Lisa, me?
Yes,
Which
Lisa Livingston.
Hey, where are you?
Yeah, Lisa Livingston.
Yes.
Earlier, I'm not sure which name I'm supposed to be using.
Probably, because I didn't swipe, so. Sorry, continue, Liam. Sorry, on you go.
I was saying a lot of people that I've watched this film with wanted your character to be the one that survives because it would have been a total twist on the sort of story arc of the bitch of the movie. It's just the character that you're playing, but it's they wanted to have that twist in it because they thought she'd be the one to take him on.
It's official. He's on his way.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I suppose that would have been quite interesting to see. And I suppose, but the bitches, you look at horror movies that have been made, like particularly like in the 80s and the 90s, the bitch is always the one to go first, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
You know, because you don't, you know, because they're the bitch. You don't want them to survive. You want them to get their comeuppance.
Yeah.
And which is exactly what happened. So
Yeah,
I think in order. Sorry.
I was going to say, I think it's the stereotypical shoot
Yeah.
that we intended to do, was the characters to get killed off in the process. So, but no,
Exactly.
It's always good to have one person that you're like really looking forward to seeing them die, and I think you got to have that aspect to it.
Oh, wait one second, guys. Pause for Alec Westwood. It's very important.
Oh,
It's just for Alec. That's it.
Cheryl, he was great. Cheryl, there was a bit they got cut, and it's like, can I just say here? Dave kept on saying to me, "Can you do like an audible, excited kind of woo?" I was like, "Are you kidding me on?" So here, woo! You can just see it there. I think you actually hear it. I go woo, and then he got me to dub a few woos, and he was like, and I was like, "Well, try a deeper pitch." He was like, "Woo, woo, woo." Honestly, it was ridiculous because I was proper speeding along, and then I think obviously I felt like I was going really fast. He was like, "Can you go faster?" I was like, "I don't think I can actually go any faster here," because it's kind of like I'm really pedaling. And then he's like, "Okay, just a little bit louder here." Woo! So I'm like, "Okay," and I got to a bit, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." And he was like, "I've got enough of it." I was like, "Oh, okay." I thought I was just sort of hitting my stride, and then it's only like 10 seconds it's in it. Anyway, there you go. Fun fact.
Yeah, 25 takes for 10 seconds.
Fun fact.
And also,
Fun fact.
the Easter egg here, you won't see it now, but the couple of shots before, there's a tree and there's a carving in the tree. It's got someone's name on it.
Oh, really? What? Whose name? Whose name?
It's somebody's name. It begins with an O. I noticed it last time. Look at, yes, come on, Westwood.
Here we go.
Alex's line that actually gets that line has popped up. I'm a waffer pish, all right, has popped up quite a few times in reviews.
Yeah.
But
Very typical Scottish, that is.
I don't need
yeah, very much.
times opening back. She goes,
It's the eloquence in which he says it. I just.
But then he does have concern for her, you know. So he's a nice guy. He's a nice arsehole.
Yeah.
he's a Scottish redneck.
Rooting for him.
No, Alec. I'm saying the actual which is actually beautiful.
Another review of this film came up saying it's called the Redwood Massacre, but there's not one sign of redwoods. There's no redwoods in the movie, no redwood trees.
No redwood trees.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's but then we did, when we talked about the film, we actually made we changed the script to sort of say the Redwood Farm. It's just what it's called, just to get around that sort of hurdle. But yeah, it still comes up in reviews.
Yeah, you could have had Evergreen, but it sounds a little bit
Yeah.
funky in it. Aye.
But this, the trees, the scenery. I mean, for me, is beautiful.
Yeah.
Am I just being biased? I don't know.
No, it's.
Oh, I love this bit. Sorry, her guts are just hanging out. Brilliant. Carol, I think her name is. Love this shot
That's
here.
still, yeah.
Oh.
The other thing as well is when Ben axed here originally, he was in the original costume that David had made up for him. Now, when we did Evil in the Hills, Ben's costume was like a kilt and full-on tartan, and David was like, no, I want it to be like Hellraiser. So at one point we had him in like a black leather kilt with like chains and like bondage parts like on the costume, and it was damn awful to the point that shot there when Alex gets cut in his stomach, that was actually like what he was wearing at that time. We had to go back and reshoot it.
Yeah, you made the right decision there, definitely.
Yeah, see, you've got layers as well on. You're wearing more layers than anyone else, and I think you have a jacket as well at one point.
Yes.
So your character got lucky. It's like, in a way.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm like half African. I can't handle your Scottish weather, man. Do you know what I mean? So
I'm just thinking of like skipping away in the future, like towards the end of the film, saying about being cold. I remember one of the final shoots that we did. Well, I did, in the barn, like the finale, shall we say?
Yeah.
God, see that pain, guys. I mean, 3 years at drama school right here for that pain. Can we just pause for a second? Now he's over it. Fine. Aye. You try to fucking kill me, are you? Aye, no bother.
Mark, sorry, 1 second. Did you do your own stunt there, or did we get a stuntman?
No, it was actually a really big debate going back and forth between my people and that. No, I chucked myself off a bike, guy.
One of the funny lines here in the film, still in there, is Mark actually says, "You're not getting my bag," but that's because of the deleted scene. That's because the deleted scene was that Alec was threatening to take the bag.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. He says, "Listen, you fucking student, coming in here. That's right, camping in here. We'll rob you or something."
And because of that, that line doesn't make any sense. But he doesn't. He kind of flies by. No one would notice it, but it is that. But you're not getting my bag. Always cracks me up. As well, like the same old excuses in these horror films is like no service. Like it's becoming almost impossible now to find a place that doesn't have any service.
That's true.
It's like it's kind of like this film, even though it isn't really dated, is kind of dated by the fact that the service is limited. I
remember this bit really clearly. When we rehearsed there's a contact coming up at some point, and we rehearsed it how much. I went, oh, you know when you get like that white kind of hot heat pain when you whip your neck. I was like, oh, I was sore. That was sore. And then there was a bit. Dave was like, oh, try this. I was like, okay, well, my neck this side was okay. I was like, oh, I really felt it. I probably crunched my neck like twice in quick succession. And he was like, okay, let's do a take. I was like, oh man, that was a rehearsal. I was like, oh no.
Lisa's back. Welcome back.
Hiya, sorry, I don't know what happened.
Oh. I was going to say, Mark, was that not Murray that was in the costume that day?
For one point, I think it was. Yeah, this point here. I think you're right. Who normally was doing sound and stuff out on the side.
Yeah. He just, for that one shot, was in the...
That's it. Oh, I crunch, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Murray was doing that. That's absolutely, yeah, bang on.
Yeah, as part of our ragtag crew, Murray was actually there as part of like the sound crew. And
living together. You were saying you disappeared there, and that was because of the reception. We were just saying you can't use that excuse for anywhere, but actually that's what happened to people who are watching that in the future. It's, our reception did cut out there.
At least I got bad reception. This is Lisa Cameron's best phone acting as well. Phoning it in.
Oh, yeah. Loads of that.
Here I'm back.
You look exactly the same as you did. Like exactly the same.
It's the hair.
Yeah. Yeah, this is I look exactly the same. Come on.
Say again?
I said I look exactly the same.
That's a
You
good
got the same
thing.
hair as well.
How long, guys? How long ago was this? This was what? How many years?
2007 years?
8 years? 7 years?
So,
Of the
yeah,
shooting of the film.
7 years. Yeah. Wow.
2013 we were shooting it, I think, was it?
No way. Was it?
Thanks.
Yeah, it was.
And then into the start of 14, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
That's why we all look so
Yeah.
young.
I'm not just gonna sit here.
Wowza.
Wow. Yes.
I actually just said.
Look at this. Look how young we look.
2014 was when it came out.
Babies.
Don't look at me.
I ain't moving. That was funny as well. It's like those days, like that was the days we were down in Dunnottar Woods. The weather was nice. There was always a dog running around at some point.
Yeah.
Like, so we're still enjoying shooting it.
Yeah, go through the good times.
I think as well, like you've got like that T-shirt underneath. That T-shirt, like underneath your top, ended up becoming like a jumper.
How far is the house from here?
I said, there's a bit some whole lot here, like this bit.
Here's a, can I just ask a question? Can I ask a question to Liam?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah?
Cool. Yeah.
Right. Which film did you enjoy filming the most? Part 1 or part 2?
Oh, part 1. Easily part 1 because you were in it. I've never had an actor or actress make me feel so awkward on set more than Lisa Livingston. But it was all. I very much enjoyed it. So. There's even like a behind the scenes.
I'm sorry for making you feel awkward.
No, it's fine. There's even behind the scenes footage where I said to you something while recording along the lines of, "Are you looking forward to getting tied up?" And you said to me, "Are you looking forward to me tying you up afterwards?" And I was like, So there you go. Anyway, look, the most amazing scenes of the film are here, so it's awesome.
Here he is.
Oh.
I love these bits.
Oh, there you are. There you are.
Just like still, the funny thing is, even though we
Look at
tell the
that
story
beard.
of the film, I know it's a little bit clearer now. But now we tell the story of the film, and we tell the story of the farmer killing his family, but then killing himself, and then the son comes back. But the amount of people that think that the farmer is the killer is insane. I get it all the time. People always ask me, "Are you the killer? Are you? Oh yeah, you're the killer." And I'm like, "I'm not."
So who,
Yeah.
So what you're trying to tell me?
who is the killer? The son.
The son, yeah. Well, that's the legend.
So it's a whole
Yeah.
like
But that's not the end of the story, smart ass.
It's the legend of the son. But that's the thing I thought of. Like I was like, is it actually the physical son? I love this bit. This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant.
We lost Lisa's gone again.
I look in her eye. Chopsies. Hiya. He's gonna need to go to the doctor. Yeah.
We ended up having to.
The blood spraying's amazing. Oh,
Well, this is like Lorraine and I won an award for the effects in this film.
Wow.
And it was basically like all it was. We went old school. It was just like taking blood and like flicking it or throwing it, and like Rebecca's scene especially was all a lot of like tubes.
Yeah.
And, like,
as well with the box with Adam coming up.
yeah.
Oh man.
When he gets that bit is a couple of people that I've known in the industry have watched and been like, how the hell did you do this bit? How did you do that bit? And I'm like, they basically stood next to where the incision or the cut or whatever is happening is and physically poured blood.
Yeah.
That's it's true. Like it's proper old school. It's no like there's no like smoke and mirrors. It's all like practical effects. And
There
then
was a guy.
Rebecca's scene when she's getting stabbed and stuff,
Yeah.
and cut open. Here's Morgan, a young Morgan Keith, like
The
this.
funny thing as well is that this part here with Morgan, a guy posted the kills on his YouTube page, and his video got banned because of the murder of a child.
Wow.
On like, and you don't even see anything, but
It is the worst bit, though. I always have to look away at this bit, even though I know fine it's.
the funny thing is as well is like when we actually went out,
Yeah.
like
Pretty brutal.
yeah, like Morgan wasn't there. She was like, David had the camera locked off, and Morgan was there, and then she came away, and then I did the axe thing. But the point that he leaves it till before he cuts it is like the very end.
It's so close. Yeah.
I actually was running the horror event that I was doing in Aberdeen 4 years ago. This kid came up to me and he goes, "Is your name Liam?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I played your son in the Redwood Massacre. I'm the one that you killed."
Oh,
Wow, that's cool.
I
that's
don't
so
remember
cool.
his name.
But what the authorities didn't want.
But yeah, this is as well. Like this is the title shout, you know, for the actual title of the movie and within the movie, and it all comes
What's
from.
the title? They say the title.
Ah.
That's like the worst impression you've ever heard of Family Guy.
Also, your story must be so like
Oh, yes.
your story must be so incredibly like you know, and like bringing everyone in, because like you actually managed to scare the crap out of people, so everyone must be so intently listening to this story. And also the funny thing as well is
I
that
remember we
actually-
filmed this.
Very
Go
funny,
on.
guys. You're
Uh-oh.
No, sorry. I remember we filmed this.
Did you just make
It was a night shoot,
Mhm.
and I mean, we were there until about maybe what, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, if I remember correctly.
yeah.
Yeah. And it was the back of someone's house. It was like I mean, wouldn't you love a back garden like this? It was the
Yeah.
back of this
It was Andrew
gorgeous sort
Nicholson
of
who
house in the
Nicholson
middle of the
who's the
woods.
executive producer.
I'll drink to that. Oh, yeah, right.
Say that again, Liam.
It was Andrew Nicholson's back garden.
There you
It was,
go.
he's the executive
Yeah.
producer.
Well, I tell you, I bet
Mm.
he's got an amazing tree hut.
He actually, like, the cool thing was, well, that night shoot was actually quite cool as well, because we had the access to the toilets and stuff as well. It was actually like wasn't too bad. Everyone was like wrapped up nice and warm.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
I love that little transition. Move into hello, fire still roaring though. I love it.
there was actually talk of a scene where you were actually going to have Adam going away for a slash in the middle of the night, and then Rebecca was going to sort of bump into him, but we ended up just deleting it for time wise, but made a bit more sense in terms of them disappearing.
Okay.
And now it goes up to the point where we actually managed to split
So
up.
did they actually meet up and disappear together?
No, they were supposed to sort of meet up, like in terms of like bumping. They're both going to the toilet at the same time, but then Ben's already out there, so he catches, or the Redwood Killer, I should
Right.
say.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Where's Ben?
Yeah.
I thought he was joining.
Yeah, I was trying to persuade him to. I'm not sure if he is. He's shy. You know what Ben
He's
is.
a badass, man.
He's got the mask on, and he turns into the scariest thing ever.
He's such a good guy. Just remember chatting to him one day. We're sitting and he had the mask in his hand, and I'm like covered in blood, and he's got a sandwich, and he's like soft, really nice, gentle, like guy, like chatting away, and I just went, "How funny is this?" I think I've got a photograph somewhere. Someone, I think maybe Lorraine took it for us. And he's sitting and he's got the mask in his hand. The axe is here, like the real axe. And it was a rubber axe. The real axe is here. Sandwich in hand, white bread or whatever. I think it was, and I'm sitting there like this, covered in blood. We're just yapping away. It's really good, like really fun.
But the thing was, he had like quite a lot of time to interact with each of you, because like when it comes down to the cat and mouse parts, he actually has the opportunity to speak to you all one-on-one, which is really good for all of you. But it's quite funny because Ben is like so like ridiculously gentle that it's like he hated any sort of thought of hurting anybody. but you still had to pull your guts out. So
Teddy bear, absolute
Yeah.
teddy bear.
Here's it.
Yeah, absolutely. I can like totally vouch for that. He was a darling.
Oh, aye. What I love about this film is that it jumps here. This is when it, like, the chase happens almost. It's like shit hits the fan really quickly because you've got nice forest, nice. You know, people have kind of went away. You don't know where they went. You know, and then you hard cut to what the hell's going on. Slasher. You're like, love it. That's what I love about this film.
well, the funny thing was as well, I spent ages sweeping out that barn as part of the pre-production, because the amount of bird shit that's in there is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And as well, somebody here has a phobia of birds.
Hmm. Oh, don't.
And I do remember having
That's
to get rid of
true.
them all.
That would be me.
Like, any dead birds or anything.
I don't like them.
No, I know. But it was.
Oh,
She's having flashbacks.
literally, I have nightmares. But it was horrible. But on a more as to what's happening in the film, kind of this part of the film, this is when the things really start to heat up. This is when the wheels start to get in motion. That you know, you really start to you edge to the edge of your seat.
Yeah, I remember this, like, the smell of that kind of Hessian sack. I remember, like, when the saliva was on it, it was really strong. And I always remember thinking, like, can you imagine, like, how horrific it would be to obviously be bound and stuff like that, but to have this across your mouth as well. And there's, like, no way really of getting it off. Obviously things transpire and it changes, but in real life, if that was you, like, put yourself in that situation as you do, you're just like,
What are we gonna do now?
horrific.
Do
It
we
really
wanna
is
go back
horrific.
home?
And what I love about this film as well is it's no like, oh, we cut away and we don't see this and we don't see that, and it's left to the imagination,
Hard
which,
to remember.
you know, a lot of other horrors and sci-fi and stuff do, which is great.
And what about
But what I love about this film is it's like total old school,
Explicit and brutal.
late early 80s into early 90s, you know, all the films we grew up with ourselves in our childhood, and, like, which used to genuinely give you nightmares and you were scared of, and like these kind of bits, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, it's love it. I love the gore, good gore. You know, it's tasteful gore. It's no gore porn. You know, like,
Yeah, it's not like
but which it changed to be a long time ago now. But a lot of films, which are good, but if it's no backed up by a good enough story, good enough characters, you just go, oh, that's just boring.
Well, that's exactly the thing, though, Mark. It harks back to that time where horror was at its absolute height. You know, the Jasons, the Freddy Kruegers. You know, if you're a horror fan, you can safely watch this film. You know, you know what you're going to get. You know, you see the cover of the DVD, you know what you're going to get, and I think that you're going to be, you know, it does what it says on the tin. You know what I mean? And that's what I like. It follows a recipe, and doesn't really deviate from that. I mean, it has its own quirks because obviously it's set in Scotland. It's got a Scottish cast, which obviously is interesting, but it follows a recipe, and it sticks to it. And I think that the audience hopefully would appreciate that.
Well, the funny
I
thing
love
is,
him choosing his tools here. That's my favorite bit. He's like, nah, yeah.
no, that was nice. That one. The funny thing is, well, you actually, I think you see it just like really briefly when he actually starts stabbing like crazy. He actually bends the knife at the very end. It's like that's how much Ben was going at it. But yeah, this is the point where it cuts between the torso that we had, Tommy torso, that was used for everybody, and the actual and Rebecca. But this is the part I remember. I was sitting next to Rebecca when we did the premiere in Aberdeen, and her mum had to leave because she couldn't stand watching this scene. And
I'm not surprised.
It's like, well, yeah, this is the point where I think a lot of people are lost when they're watching this. People can't stand this scene. Like you get past this one, I don't think there's much worse we'll get onto Adam's death when it comes to it, because I got a little story behind that.
Oh, it's
But
brutal.
this one, on this day as well, this was freezing cold as well. And Rebecca was an absolute trooper on this one, because she was there as well, same as you all were for your scenes, like for hours. But she was on that table, and any layers she had were pretty much removed. So, but this was us like underneath the table with syringes and wires and tubes and just a shed load of blood. And that blood was amazing. Every morning that we had to use it, Lorraine would make it up in a bowl in her kitchen with a blender. And it was like the weirdest thing. If anybody was to walk in at that point, it just looked like this huge bowl of fake blood. So, but yeah, that's the point there where Ben bent the knife, bent it several times.
You know what? They don't make them like that anymore.
Nah, it'd mostly be CGI and stuff, or a bit much less
You
blood.
know? Exactly.
Yeah. But that's the thing as well. I think that's what a lot of appreciation comes to this film, is the fact that it's all practical. And as much as it is a sort of pain and a long period of time in that, it pays off at the end when you see it.
You know you're watching a movie. It's no real life, but based on true story, guys. It's like, you know, you're kind of almost, it's tangible. You're almost touching it. You're almost touching it the whole time, and you're like, that's what's beautiful about it. Like, CGI is great, and it is, but when you get someone like this, and there's no animatronics, there's no, I mean, there is some FX shots, but there's not a lot. But it just comes down to blood and lighting. You know, that's the key thing in this, which I find
it's organic, and that's what people want to see, because we're saturated with CGI and social media and everything, you know, electronic, and you just want something that's sometimes, you know,
real. One of the I was going to talk about on this was so we did a test screening with a couple of guys who actually happened to know Adam, and the original death for Adam was the girl that's in the box now. He was in the box, and when they watched it, they were kind of like, he's the only one that doesn't get like a gratifying death. So we spoke to him, we came back, and his whole death scene is a reshoot. And I think it actually pays off. That was the point where we'd actually seen the film. We were trying to think of what to do that was new, and we had quite a lot of fake blood left. So we just thought, let's use it. But it just turns into one of the most gruesome.
Oh, it's brutal.
Also, it also shows how much of a coward Mark's character is.
Yeah. Funny, like.
And has the weirdest like Hitler look about him.
Yeah. What's funny is like the whole way through you're like, he's gonna get killed, and then he's like, no, actually I'm nae. Oh my life.
Your character is an amazing escape artist. He gets it like 3 times.
Yeah. Comes at the dead end though. Oh, this is brutal.
Ooh.
Yeah.
you're rooting for this one though, aren't you? You root for him. You're like, oh please, come on, you know, let him survive.
If there's only a way that we could have actually had like his toes getting smashed, like we do imply it, but we wanted to actually. It would be amazing to see his toes actually like almost like Misery.
Oh my god, I'd forgotten about the toes.
Yeah, it's like because Ben goes for the toes first.
Well, I'm just actually having my evening meal now. Some pizza. Homemade.
I'm out of gin, so I'm going to disappear for like 2 minutes.
It's all good.
Get some more gin, and I'll be back with you.
Oh.
I'll bring back snacks.
Good plan. Yeah, so like this is what I was talking about. Like, yes, this whole scene still played out the same. You walked out of there. You like were like upset about not getting there, but it didn't cut back to anything. It didn't cut back to the death scene because Adam never actually originally got killed on screen. He was just off screen, and then we were able to cut it back into this, which I said the decision to do this was massive. Like massively improves these scenes. Because it's gory as hell, and it's one of the ones that I think that we're the most proud of.
Oh boy! Oh no!
It's like so. It's a bit, but There's been a few comments of the blood being whatever, like being dark and everything, but I just think it makes it look more amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a dark room, but as well, like I never noticed even in the first few times the amount of bodies. These are all the bodies that are strung up later on, and you see them all hanging in the background, and I think that's quite cool. Like as to the scene later on, Lisa, when you're going through them, it just
that was a
adds,
good
like,
day.
yeah, all of our friends and everything are in there. Anyone that we knew was strung up.
I'd love to know what he's doing with the jars. He's like, okay, this is for ears, and then
Yeah.
we've got this for.
He's
Wow.
just putting in his collection.
There's a bit later on that I remember when we were shooting. It was like, okay, you've got 2 takes at most for this. 2 takes at most. Because the other jar was I remember they wanted to come in. It was for the wides, but we managed to get in the wides, and I couldn't stop laughing. With the liquid and the magnification, when the liquid you're looking at it, it's like a sausage, and it just like a penis.
It's David Tilly.
Like an art, like an anomaly art, like an art, a body. Is it a penis? Is it no?
It is. It's David's Willie.
I'm
That's the story behind that jar. But it's swollen so much, 17 times bigger in that jar because the water in there.
it was massive.
But this is actually a scene taken directly from Evil in the Hills. We actually had people get in touch with us saying like it was a rip-off of their own movie they made in like 2 years before this. But this is actually this is made from our own short film, Evil in the Hills. Yes, it's heavily based on like a lot of horrors, but it's just like sort of using stereotypical, like Lisa's talking about earlier, like art story types. But this scene itself is like, it's one of my favorite shots. Like not just the Willie in the jar, but Ben standing in the background. And you don't notice him until he moves. That's such a cool shot. There we go, the famous Willie jar.
There.
Yeah, he is back there.
Yeah, it's like Halloween sort of thing. It's
Yeah.
good.
But yeah, that was your one. That was the one that you said like you only get 1 or 2 shots in.
It was like we've got 1 take, maybe 2. I think we got it in 1. I think we got it in 1 though.
Do you remember leaving this place after one of the days that we got barred in by the farmers?
Yes, they thought we were like stripping the copper out of the place
Yeah.
or something. So we drive down the dirt track, and there's like 2 or 3 big Range Rovers and white vans and that blocking off the end of the lane to the house. We thought, shit, we're gonna get in a fight here. They looked pissed off.
Yeah.
Like I think they thought we were just
Yeah,
stealing
thought-
everything out of the house.
like there was a lot to steal.
I know.
Which we were.
The moldy mattress. That's what we were at.
We're now rich off that copper. Look at us now.
The thing
Yeah.
is, laugh about that banister. I'll show you later on where it is here.
It's now nicely propping up your stairs. That you don't have.
I know, stairs over there, but I've just got a banister.
On the wall like a piece of art.
Oh wow! I remember this. I remember this scene. So this, like for me, on a personal level, for my character, this is where you see a slightly softer side of the character. She's
Yeah.
not being so much of a bitch. You see a sort of a chink of a human being underneath her.
Well, we talked about this, me and a couple of friends. We're talking about how your character is actually put in a situation she didn't want to be in, like in the first place with the
Yeah.
ex-girlfriend. So she's on the defensive. But then she's also then thrown into this situation where they disappear. So she is like massively pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, she thought the camping was going to be bad anyway, but this is like next level bad.
Then it gets
Next
ramped
level
again.
bad.
But then, when the actual chances, you guys have walked around, you don't know where you're going, you get lost. The chances, you actually go to the Redwood house, don't you? That was your aim, to go and meet them.
Aye.
Because you end up in the in the place that the guy is and all the bodies are.
We were told there was going to be a party there.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah. I go there.
There is a
Turns
party.
out there wasn't, but it was a different kind of party.
I think, Mark, was this a reshoot as well? Or was this actually, no, we shot this.
I think this was original, and I think Finding the Box was the first time the girl was in it, and we never reshot it. I saw Adam was in it.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I thought this was the bit around the horse cart, before you're.
Oh, yeah, I think that was reshot.
Yeah, but this is the part, yeah. So, like, this was where Adam was going to be. And then we, after the hearing what the guys were saying and that, we shot his death scene. We had to put someone else in this box randomly. So this is her one-shot fame, but if only you were quicker. You're always looking out for number one in your character.
Yeah, honestly, guys, if you hear a really scary noise, look after yourself. Run. Don't look after the weakest member of your team.
Save yourself.
Get the fuck out of there.
That's the good advice.
It's the horror advice.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is also another one of these cool shots where
There's like a bang. It's like, wait a minute, what the hell's that?
Mm.
it's one of these shots where you're about to look and then you look and you see Ben coming straight at you. You think that he's actually going to get you, but then you're not there, and because you're super fast escape artist.
Voodoo, mate. Voodoo.
The funny thing is I love the way that Ben looks at the axe. He's like, oh, that's where I left it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I thought, okay, yeah, it is my axe. Honestly, guys. I've got nothing on that. This is like self-materialization.
Don't do it. Don't.
Voodoo style, like, it's gone.
It's a little bit of dust left.
It can only go to organic matter, and I've landed in bird poo right now. Like, I've transported to bird poo right. Oh, it's brutal. The hits. Oh, man. The hits. Oh, it's horrible. It's good.
It's also like, again, it's like another one of these actresses that we've got in, and I'm not sure if she's still acting. I think she might quit again. Like, so it's just what we do to them.
Yeah.
I don't think it's you, honey. I think it's just the business, to be honest.
Well, the funny thing is,
what's this on the wall? Is it like a coat hook? Look at it. It's the most disgusting, moldy coat hook you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Minging.
I don't think any of the barns and stuff and the stables and stuff they were in were ever being used anymore.
Welcome to the Redwood Massacre. Over here, you can hang your coat.
Next to a body. Yeah, there she goes. Oh, well, see you later.
Oh, lovely.
And
Beautiful.
that'll bite the dust.
Rough.
I said, she's blinking. She's still blinking. I mean, oh, come on. I said, game over. The bitch just blinked. Get the fuck out of there.
She got covered in blood, and then she got dropped in a box, and that was your part. You made it, honey. But then again, this is the one I was talking about. This is the beginning of your cat and mouse.
Here's it. Oh man, no, my legs are giving way. Like,
She thinks so.
I remember Dave actually talking me through this. This is no word of a lie. This exact scene. I went, how do you mean? Like, what do you mean? And he went, like, you drop down like you're kind of almost giving up. And I went, like, Dave, just show me what you want. Like, just show me, like, physically. He was like, you know, that kind of action-y kind of movie, like, everything's got against, there's weight on the shoulders, and you come down. I was like, okay. And he did it, and I was like, that was really good. I don't know what I can do. Because Dave obviously watched like a million odd movies. Well, I'm watching him, and I was like, that's really good acting, Dave. And he was like, cheers, thanks. Then we did it, and then I think this was part of the reshoot here.
Yeah.
I think we shot a part before, but there wasn't enough light. If I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, because this 6 is as well. Like, this is just one of those things. Like, where's the light coming from? It's like that. There must be something glowing inside that box. But it's like, this is you. Every time he goes around a corner, you disappear. Like, this is your escape artist skills, like, coming to the max. But then you're an amazing escape artist. But then when you make a break for it, you run straight towards a dead end that you can clearly see.
Brick wall.
It's like, where were you going?
I love that bit. Fuck.
Yeah.
Funny because here's another bit. Dave, the director, and said to me, when you get to here, like it's a case of like, and I was like, do you want me to verbalize it? You know, like just show in my mouth, or do you want it to be like, you know, fully
Wow.
saying it? So and he was like, I don't know. Let me try a few times, and I was like, I love this bit.
We went.
That's
again.
really beautiful. Like just when you're talking photography, that's gorgeous. What you just seen there with Mark standing there and the shadow on the wall, and then you see, the murderer coming in. That's gorgeous.
This is my favorite bit with the hand coming up, and he just snaps it.
Oh my god.
That was actually my idea. I said, like, let's if it was, you'd be like, stop, like kind of mercy, and it's like snap. Like,
Yeah, if we could have, we would have put a knife through your hand. So
yeah,
you go off lightly.
yeah.
This is the nice, like a nice emotional tone to this scene as well. It's like after all the killing and everything, we get to see nice soft parts to use to. And the immortal line of, what we're gonna eat, and it's like, I hope you like fox from the vegetarian.
Wait.
Yeah, it's a total gear change. You need like peaks and troughs in a movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it helps as well. Like you're right, because otherwise, if you're just seeing all the gore, it kind of turns into porn.
It gives the audience a bit of a room to breathe.
Yeah.
And sort of connect with the one that's going to really be the savior in this movie. You know what I mean? Which is Lisa.
The funny thing is as well is that you get like this typical moment of character growth from yourself before you get killed. It's like,
yeah,
we're thinking, oh man, I was starting to root for this girl.
Yeah, you're rooting for her because she's changing. She's kind of realizing the error of her ways. But it's too late.
Yep.
It's too late. First come in.
Started that way.
Yeah. The person has been chosen, and you're next. Type thing. Which is fine.
I think this was that day that we got stopped, wasn't it? We were there for one day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With all the things added in. Oh.
I just remember the dead fox, Lisa. Do you remember that?
Wow. Yeah. What was it? Was it like a stole, like an old lady's fox that we just squirted some blood on?
It was like an old lady's kind of,
like, over the shoulders thing. It was a fox. It was just no longer.
It was no longer.
No longer. That's it. I'm trying to stop. But yeah, I was actually thinking to myself, where did your jacket go? Why did you take your jacket?
I must have took it off. But you know what? It was just.
Look how
it was
cold
a
it
really.
is, though. You could see.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a really nice moment, but just between two female characters to just kind of who hadn't initially got on in, to kind of just connect and just share and just be. It was a nice little moment, and like I say, it was a nice breather for the film, for the movie, and it kind of it gives Lisa's character the leads in a way in order to take us through the rest of the film, I think.
Yeah. As well, you also starts with your character. This is the point where your character just loses her mind and decides, I know there's a hole in the wall, I'm going to climb into it.
So brave.
Yeah, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
I think this is actually the point as well. This is the point with all the birds. I'm sure the room that you're climbing into.
Oh, this is it. Yes.
Yeah, where you climbed out of there, that's where they all were.
I think you're right. Yeah.
You're making my skin crawl already.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I just remember that being the room that they all were in.
Jesus.
Pizza. I was just getting it. Before that is my favourite shot. Is
I mean, if I had any brains, I would never have actually said any of this because now I'm going to be getting dead birds in the post. You know what I mean? Yeah, here. Oh my God, here it was horrendous. There's Mark.
Yeah, Mark just it's another one of his things he gets out of. Don't know how.
honestly,
What?
I actually got a couple of phone calls. Well, I say phone calls. A phone call from David Blaine.
Hello.
David Blaine.
Yeah, basically saying like watched your movie, big fan. How? Just how? And I went, magic.
This is what they were talking about. This was actually when you're in the previous barn. This was a couple of like another shoot, and this was the place where we ended up as we were finished, and we had to build like that hiding hole for you, like between the hay bales.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah,
So like I think several scenes were shot in this space.
Yeah, this one here, this is a different location. This is the previous one. It's like we could quite a lot of shots. I also remember Ben bursting into these doors with like a dead flower for you as well.
Yeah.
Can I just
This is a really good one though. This is good. But when the door kind of goes, is good for the
Who's there?
for the audience. It gives you a scare.
Yeah.
And
I like the character here. You had
the suspense.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh no shit. Whoa.
Why would any normal person be standing behind the door like that? You're being stupid.
I also like the fact though that you leg it. You know, it's like you get like around that horror movie.
You're not going to be like, yeah, exactly, yeah. Hello, save me.
Yeah, you're not frozen and you're like, oh no.
But like, this is classic kind of, you know, horror. What's the genre you would call it, Liam? Give me the words I'm looking for.
This is horror. It's it's also like a little bit of thriller. This part, 'cause it's like the
yeah.
Yeah, it's
The
like
classic 80s thriller horror movie here. The suspense, everything. This is all the ingredients you want, you know.
As well, that Ben added in this part where he gets drags his axe around with him. Almost like sort of like.
What are you thinking?
Sorry?
Cameron, is it whiskey?
Me, beer. That's a lot of whiskey.
She's got to drink that much whiskey to get through it.
Whiskey. Look,
But
guys,
yeah.
I'm getting in the mood. It's a 1980s cup.
we built that space for Lisa to climb into, but we built it with the purpose that Ben bursts out of it as well. So it was all just lined up together. Don't know how he got around behind you, but it's
Yeah, that's right.
the magic of horror. And then we also this was the day as well. We had all
The
of our
magic of
messages
horror.
and all the good stuff.
But I love these, the really nice extreme close-ups with the eye and the light and the glint.
Yeah, the photography is gorgeous. Like exactly like you say, Mark. The eye cut into Ben.
It's the extreme angles as well. Like if an eye, it's normally here, but it's always off to the side, and it's There's a lot of kind of Dave as well. Dave shoots a lot of stuff like Dutch. Like he goes really kind of like this way, you know. I don't know how many degrees an angle is it, 35, 40, whatever it is. But then you watch a film and you kind of go, oh, I know it's off at an angle, but you go, the reason it's off at an angle is because everything's like fucked, you know. It's not just it's here's it,
This is what we're talking about as well. It's like I don't think Ben could have pulled out a bigger knife to stab you with. It's almost like a sword.
Yes.
That's part of the.
This is a scene where I got chilblains. By the way.
It was cold that day, and as well, you're getting cooked when that blood's on you. That's cooling your body down because it's so cold.
It's a hand sight for. Oh, here's it.
Just hauling stuff out.
As well, he looks at it. He's like, "Nah, not that one. No, I need some more."
Yeah.
So you have to choreograph this scene. Yeah. You have to choreograph it. You have to be in sync. So obviously I have blood in my mouth at this point, and Ben has his knife. So you know beforehand you have to each step is practiced, and it's a dance. Play a dance. Every murder is a dance. So
I remember you talking to Ben that day as well. You were saying like put your hand on my neck, and you were leading him because you were holding on to him. You were essentially pulling him back.
Yes. Because he's so gentle, he didn't want to do it. He was totally. It just wasn't his normal kind of character. You know what I mean? It was quite hard for him to do something like that. And in an instance like that, you have to kind of instigate them a little bit.
So that's your boot.
that shot.
It's-
The whole, you're crossing the ball, the knee comes up. You're like, what the fuck?
Also, Lisa Cameron is the worst
Oh,
player
wow.
at hide and seek ever.
I know. Pamela doesn't have many skills, but
No.
that's not in them.
It's like,
Don't you just love that mask though? Look at that mask.
yeah, that's the,
Wow.
That's one of the only points where you properly see the white of the eye.
Mm.
Properly.
Yes.
It's all normally the black and the darkness, and it comes like normally you're hitting here, this kind of portion.
Mhm.
But when it comes from here,
Mhm.
you get the
Look,
proper white
yes.
eye, and you sense his panic and fear, and you're like, what the fuck? Because normally in a
Yeah.
slasher or horror film, and that's brilliant as well, this bit, in a slasher and horror film is you genuinely think that the killer is just gonna kill everyone. But then there's a moment here
Yes.
he's worried and he's scared. You know, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. You're worried and scared, and then you've got a shotgun
yes.
in your face from another angle. So it's like horror from both ends. Where do you go?
There's a lot of criticism over this bit as well, because like Lee's literally got Ben standing in front of him with his back to him. Lee's got a double-barreled shotgun, and then he's like, "Come on, let's go."
Blowing him away.
Yes.
I think I would argue is the hunter or the character or whatever the name is, Lee's character. I think it's the hunter. He's watched a lot of scary movies whereby being like, even if I shoot him with this gun at close range, it's basically just gonna mess up his polo shirt.
Yeah, this is as well. This is like the most point of the story of the movie getting brought out from Lee. This is the days that we had Lee on set start with, until the point where he actually shaved. He came in one day. He's like, "Dave, I've had a haircut," and he shaved the whole side of his head, like almost completely, like down to like a number one. And he had this like, so he had the hair on top, and we had to actually color his hair in with makeup to try and make it look, to try and make it match.
You don't notice
Oh
it.
no!
Here he had the hair. Later he had it shaved. It's like, but yeah, Lisa, I can only imagine that was a bit intense acting opposite Lee. But you know Lee from before, so
Yeah, we'd worked together before, and he's always like, he's quite an intense guy, you know, and he's quite imposing and that, but he's never been anything but a total sweetheart. So it's kind of disarming, you know, when he's funny and he likes to laugh and all that
yeah,
sort of
funny.
stuff, and then he's bringing the big fear factor.
See what's question to Liam in terms of like the story. Obviously, with the sequel or part two, whatever you want to call it, and horror fans, you probably already know this. It's coming out soon. It looks absolutely shit hot. It really does. It really does. But this is a big point of what he's talking about. Kind of repeats again, doesn't it?
yeah, the whole story of every so often he comes back, and that's what he's collecting the parts for. He's essentially going into hibernation, and then he comes back out, and then
Tunes or something from X-Files, like
yeah, that's what he's doing. He's stocking up. So like people go to the parties every year and nothing happens, but like every so often people go disappearing.
yeah.
So that's who all the people are that are strung up later on. That's all the party goers. But I was actually laughing at Lisa Livingston there a second ago. You must have done something really bad to piss off Ben or the Redwood Killer, because he chopped you to bits. Like all the rest of him, he's quite gentle with and stuff, and but like he rips at your intestines and then throws you down and chops off your leg, and then he keeps going.
Yeah, well, I enticed him, darling. What can I say?
You made him work for it.
I made him work for it. A method, sweetheart. That's all I can say.
Said he was a bucket scrunner.
Mhm.
For our American friends, bucket scrunner means you are one who rakes in the garbage. But do you know what though? Like that my whole thing is like, and part of the reason obviously we're doing this today and everything is for special features for the can't even speak here, put my teeth back in,
We came here
for the
together.
Blu-ray. But what's really interesting is what's going to be happening like chapter 2 essentially, because like the three actors here just now, Lisa, and myself, really don't know too much about what's happening in the next chapter, if you will.
No.
Ian's the only one that kind of knows, and obviously the team behind it, and that's what I find really interesting, because this film, when you watch it the first time, you go, bloody hell, it's pretty good. You watch it a second time, and you really appreciate the horror of it, elements, and the blood and the gore and everything like that, and you really appreciate it, you know. But then the following that it's had over the past couple of years, you know, through all different mediums and channels, a lot of pirate copies. I know at one point it was like in the top 10 pretty much like pirated films. It wasn't it, Liam?
Yeah, the thing,
Yeah, it was
like
massive.
the views on like YouTube and that, there was David took there was a YouTube channel on, and it had like 750,000 views. On the Hulu market in America, it's had over 1 million of views. I think probably more millions of views than like any of our other films. This one is massive. So much so to the point, like they wouldn't have made a sequel. There never would have been a chance of having a sequel if it hadn't been for the success of this one.
Yeah. And
It's crazy when you think the amount of people who've actually watched this, and like I said, it's like there's quite a lot of negative reviews, but you're talking like maybe 100 reviews are negative, because people don't really post about like good reviews. You know, if you watch a really good film, like, oh, that was really good, you don't then tend to jump on and start posting about it. If you see something you hate, you're like, oh my god, it was so bad. You tell people. So the fact it's had so few like bad reviews compared to the views, then it's actually quite incredible. The funny thing is, it's mostly like some of the sort of most talked about parts are like how bad the hunter actually is, and then like, you know, he builds up to a big fight and he gets killed. You know, Lisa Livingston, your character going like forward into that hole in the wall and then basically being by herself. Everybody splits up. You know, it's the usual sort of horror styles, but it is funny because like the following, you're right, Mark, the following this film is actually quite massive when you actually think about it.
But you know what I love about this film, you know, like I said before, it follows a recipe. Films like you know, Halloween, for example, when you've got actresses like Curtis, who are facing what was the character, Michael? Yeah. So you've got Lisa Cameron here, who is completely alone and not knowing what to do with herself and conflicted and terrified. This is where you start to see. Oh, here we have Lee. But this is where you see the character really come into herself, you know, really start to organically develop and kind of transform into this kind of superwoman, juxtaposed to this Redwood Massacre. You know what I mean?
it's interesting you said about Halloween and Michael, because in the next one, major scream queen Danielle Harris is like, she's pretty much top villain. And I don't know too much about the film, apart from like what's online and a couple of conversations here and there, tiny brief bits with Dave and Lorraine and Liam a little bit. But that's the beauty of this film, is like it's got another journey to it. It's not just like part 2 or a sequel. It's like another loop in the story of the film, and that's why I'm proud of this film, because you know, it's however many, now 7-8 years old.
Yes.
Budget. You know, all us guys were a lot younger then, as we can kind of see. We all still look quite tidy, you know. But I think that for me, this is the thing, is as a horror fan, what it's done is it's actually kind of progressed. You know, it really has moved forward. What's going to be coming out in the next year, 18 months, or whenever it's going to be happening after COVID-19, what's happening globally, people need escapism, and it's always part and parcel of the entertainment industry and what we do. But whenever this next film's going to be landing and it gets out there, I'm really excited about it, because you've got some big players. You know, And they're,
Yeah, and female leads as well, Mark. And sorry to interrupt you, honey. Sorry, but it's
No.
female leads as well, and that's, I think, is a very important thing. And looking back, and you know what? When we were filming this is something that I never actually realised at the time. But but when you look at when I'm looking back now, Lisa is the survivor. Her character is the survivor. I haven't seen part 2, but what I can tell from it, again, you have a female lead, and again, that is really, really important.
Yeah.
Sort of, looking forward to the future, because the female is future when it comes to these kind of scenarios, and when it comes to filming, and when it comes to storylines.
Well, the funny thing is, you actually mentioned that the horror industry has led almost the whole way of female leads. The one thing that really can't be criticized compared to all the other ones is the actual.
Yeah, the final girl trope sort of thing, and even if she has to go through some interesting stuff before the end.
You got a lot of brutal ones, but then you also have the fact that like Halloween and Scream that follow it, they actually play on the whole point of the whole virgin and the innocent character, the one that is the one that's alive. And they don't have to do all the nasty stuff and everything that a lot of the other films kind of lean towards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, completely. It's almost like the one genre where a female character with a female actress can kind of explore herself, can explore her character, can explore her journey without fear of, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? For all those stereotypical kind of.
Like a guy coming to save the day, and she gets.
Yes, exactly. It's the woman, it's the girl, it's the woman who saves the day. It's her journey, it's her story, and we're all rooting for her.
Also, sorry, I'm just jumping onto this scene here. I remember this day vividly, Lisa.
Me too.
You got covered like.
E3, I remember this.
Yeah, that's right. Because I forgot to even jump in here. But it's that very first hit. Your character comes out this with loads of blood, but no bruising.
No, God, a face.
But yeah,
A brick face.
First hit, you would be out. It's
I've got an adamantium nose.
It's so brutal. Your nose would be broken. You'd be dead. It's just your face bursts open.
See, the day after this, I actually felt like Ben had kicked the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, it's that was.
I remember because I'm spoiler. I'm lying down in a bale hay, here, or broken, not a bale, but a broken bit of hay. I'm over here and I'm going fucking hell, this looks severe.
The funny thing is, Mark, I remember you saying on this day as well, Mark, your back was bothering you.
Yeah, it was. I
You thrown.
Not from this film, but from a previous job I did. I was just like, oh man. And then it was like, can you get me this? I said, I don't know, because it was super cold in that barn, I remember.
Yeah, you can see her breath there.
Yeah.
This scene is so brutal. It is so brutal. It's actually quite difficult to watch, actually.
Yeah. But don't worry. Here comes Superman.
Way.
Ben's almost escaped from this one.
Punch.
There you go.
Can I just say though, horror fans out there who are watching this, I campaigned like a mofo, motherfucker, to get a big Bruce, my character, in the next installment. Because I said, he escapes from everything in this film. You don't see him die. He's not dead yet. He's only through, right? The director and writer Dave was like, nah, he's pretty much dead. I went, he's all but dead in every other shot that you show him. And then he appears out of nowhere and saves Lisa Carmen's character.
With Pamela.
Big Pamela, P-Dog.
Big Pamela.
Yeah, Big Bruce's brown cat, is he dead or is he?
Well, the funny thing is, as well, is that this is like where Pamela is actually like really selfish as well, because she literally seen all those people hanging up. Some of them were still alive, and she just
Yeah,
fucked
fuck
them up.
those guys.
Who's that? Yeah. Oh, that's
Listen, it's fight or flight, baby. Fight or flight.
The funny thing was as well, we shot
horrible. That's horrible.
David shot that shot of Rebecca with the knowledge that this shot was later in the much later in the shoot, like, and it was actually quite cool, like the impact that I actually seen her again.
I love that. I love this.
But as well, I think you see like the steam coming off Ben there just from the heat of his body,
Yeah.
and how cold it was. And here's the ladder that goes nowhere, but apparently it comes out in a hatch in the ground. So.
Oh, the hatch. The hatch, baby.
It is seamless. It is seamless.
I was lying on the ground.
You only realise this when you're watching it back. You know what I mean? It's been years. It has been years since I've watched this.
That hole in the ground was like 1.5 feet deep or something like that.
Really?
The door actually rested on my back. And then Liam was there to catch it when we flipped it open.
David,
That was
David
the
was like,
first day I think we got bloodied up. And to start, Dave was like, oh, I'm just going to put some, and then put some here, just like, and then in the end he just threw the whole jug of blood at my face.
The funny thing as well, this is the day that we got stopped from filming because somebody thought that you were actually hurt. There's a few people stopped.
Yeah.
What?
No, you're doing it right. Okay.
Somebody was like, oh, do you want to come with us? Do you come with us, honey? Come on. Don't worry about them. Look, you can come with us.
Yeah.
Oh.
They thought I'd fallen out. The man thought I'd been playing in the trees and come a cropper. But
Are
he
you
was
joking?
eyeing Liam up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, here's the world's worst Uber.
Ah,
driver.
okay.
Don't get rescued by this guy.
Say
He's
no
not going
more.
to save you.
Also, David Lorraine's old license plate, BJ's.
Drew, do you know what? I remember you said to me, and I was like, what are you talking about? And you said to me during one of the screenings, and I went, huh? I went, you'll see it, and you can't unsee it. And I was like, what? And you went, white van. And I was okay. And the next time I saw it, I went, no way, you can't not see it.
Yeah, it's perfectly placed.
Can I just add in here, is Lindsay's shirt the same one he wore in Herbal's?
I don't know, but the funny thing is, people thought when he got out the van that was Ben with his mask off because he's wearing dungaree.
Of course.
Oh, I never would have thought that.
Nice.
There's genuinely like
You might be a psychological Redwood Massacre.
well, there's
Okay.
genuinely like there was a conversation on Reddit about how that guy they thought it was like a family. Like who drives like around in circles on like in Scotland where the roads only go like one way?
A lot of people. You'd be
Yeah.
surprised to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Comes down to signal, remember what we were talking about earlier on? It's the excuse for many things.
it's a sat nav. It's sat nav's like, oh, it took me to this close house.
Special Brigadoon rules.
Yeah. But this bit is brilliant though.
Well, again, that was I
That
remember
was a
we
good
were,
shoot. Like,
we were driving around for a while, like looking for somewhere to shoot this. I remember we just ended up reversing up some like weird like side road.
I mean, does he not think to wipe a woman's face? Do you know what I mean? Give him, you know, his shirt or something. Wipe the blood off.
This is why I love it, because I never even thought this.
So
Right, and
inconsiderate.
you cover his face with that mask and you go, like, honestly, I never even thought of that.
It's wearing the same costume.
Yeah, but I never even noticed it, like, in a way, you know?
Well, the funny thing is, I think like that it probably, if not knowing anything about it, it probably does kind of like lean that way.
yeah.
So, you know, like you are thinking, oh, there's something up here. He's like, I'm gonna go back to the house I've just seen. Like, but yeah.
So, Texas.
Again, it harks back to that,
Yeah.
oh, Jason, didn't it? When he's
Yeah.
in the river.
Well, it's also
He's
like
in the canoe.
it's like thinking of like Texas Chainsaw, where it's a whole family that's involved.
Yeah.
Like, but no, it's just Ben.
And you're never leaving. It's just
I just can't stop looking at that license plate.
what I love is
So immature.
the pattern of blood on Lisa Cameron. Lisa, your forehead is beautiful. it's so thick and crusted in. You're
So like you would wipe that off, like surely. It's been like 9 hours.
no, but it's
Plus, you
Just
know, like
enjoys the carry look.
he must have been driving around for weeks for the swelling to have gone down.
He had an ice pack, but no face cloth.
I remember this was really complicated as well. Like when Lindsay was turning around with the blood, like so he almost had to stay completely still. So like when he turns out, it's like a vampire. He's like, ah, it's like he's on a. But it's just because of the awkwardness of the actual the wires and the tubes and stuff. Also, I also wish you could have seen Ben going into his pocket to get the keys, because you lock the doors, but then he unlocked them. It's like, so Ben's like...
Classic.
I do love that shot with the lights go on.
yeah, I love that shot as well when it's your reflection.
Oh, it's your eyes though, Lisa. Your eyes. Look at the face and the eyes. Ah. Sheer terror.
That's just because she saw Lindsay outside the window. But yeah, this is one of those shoots where it was like you were actually able to like move about quite a lot, and there was actually a beautiful night. Luckily, it wasn't cold. It was like, but this then led into.
We did some running around.
Yeah, this then led into like the end of the movie, so it was like this is where it became freezing. Yeah, you got a few good kicks in there as well.
Yeah, take that.
In terms of like which season was this? Winter now?
This was February.
Yeah.
Oh,
This was down at Denora Woods. And we had a generator that night. This was where we were shooting, and the amount of cars that like in the middle of the night that pulled into that little car park saw our lights and everything, and then reversed out and drove away again. They were like, "Uh-oh."
And what are you doing
guys,
this lovely evening?
Can I just ask you?
But yeah, as well, like I remember we were sitting there going, "Oh, we could carve like a line out or something on this tree, and then we could put the sword in it and stuff." And ended up, Dave was like, "Just try it," and like stuck it.
Just throw it.
Like,
Yeah. I was mostly worried about rolling in dog shit
yeah.
during this.
I wouldn't be worried about the dog shit that time of night. I'd be more worried about the cum. Okay.
That's him.
It's rolling about in the car park. It's fine.
One safe sex. One couple at a time, mate.
Use a condom.
They're just making a movie, yeah. Oh my God! There's the Merseyside.
This was the last shoot. This was the last day. This was where we were out. We started off here probably about 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night, and we finished shooting at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I remember as well, like, because you're still wearing your summer clothes, and there was ice on the puddles. It was so cold.
Absolutely Baltic.
So that's the junkyard at Paisley, right?
Yeah, on the other side of Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridgerton. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and yeah, it was like I think we had hot water bottles and stuff, or like Lorraine had the hand warmer things.
Just little, things.
Oh wow.
But it was.
You did super, Lisa. I couldn't have done it. No way.
It was ridiculously cold, and I think we had the cars on at the side for you to jump into, like as them running to try and get the warmth in.
Mm-hmm.
But,
oh wow!
But yeah, it has worked out well. We even talked about doing a shot at the end with Ben's hand coming through the car or something like that. But I think we were just done. We were just like, no, forget it. But it's quite cool as well. Like you actually operated this machine. You know, this truck, didn't you? This big.
I know. I mean, hidden talents.
Yes.
Just jump right in there.
Guys, honestly, escape artist, technician, fucking material engineer,
Scrap yard functionaire.
Oh, that's the other thing as well. You get stabbed on you get cut in the shin here, and the amount of blood that comes out, plus the amount of blood you've already lost.
Yeah.
He did it seconds.
Yeah, the amount of blood has been in your face already. Yeah.
You're like, I saw this.
But here we see, look, girl power. Okay, that's all I can say. Girl power. There you go.
Yeah.
I love this last sequence because so many people have commented on it going, oh, it's shit. And some people are going, oh, it's amazing. I think it's amazing. It's being biased, but the final line is just beauty.
There you go. There we go. Look, and we're coming to it. We're coming
Get
to
ready,
it.
Ethel.
Yes.
Yay.
She's like, thank God the shoot's
And that's
over.
what you get. Okay.
But no, it's I like, honestly, I genuinely mean it. I
Ellen
really,
Ripley all over it. That's why I love it.
I genuinely mean it. I like this shoot more than any other ones, but this was the best shoot we've done, and it was weird because it's over so many months that we shot this,
Yeah.
and also this line.
It was like June to February or something like that, I think.
And it was everybody's
It was-
weekends and stuff, and we're just like, you know, it was like a really early, like, you know, in terms of the Clear Focus movies and stuff, it was a really early shooting. It was only Herbals before it, and then this one. And I kind of hope what you're saying, Mark, as well about Redwood Massacre 2. I hope, because of who it's got in it, I hope that it gets the big attention and stuff from people. Like, oh my God, you know, Danielle Harris in this, a massive following that she has.
And they want to watch part 1.
Yeah, we'll come back to watch this one.
100%.
So we could be-
I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest with everyone. In terms of like the resource-wise, when we shot this, right, it was minimal. However, what wasn't minimal was the belief and the talent that and it sounds pure wonky. And it's Sunday night, and I've had a few whiskeys. It might sound a bit wonky, but I didn't mean it to.
Yeah. Preach, Mark, preach.
I'm gonna take
On this,
it back
guys.
to the church. Like
On this.
in terms of like the belief and the outlook on what was going to be achieved, there wasn't any hiding from it. It was like, look, we're going to shoot this, we need this, we need that, and everyone went, aye, okay, I'm up for it, let's go for it. And the time that it took to shoot it, yeah, it was over a period of, you know, weeks and months, but the end result in terms of resource wise is absolutely phenomenal. And I've got a lot of people as everyone has in the industry that have watched it and went, holy shit, how long did you take to shoot this? And they're like, there's no way. There's no way. You tell them the truth, and they're like, fuck me, that is an exceptionally good film.
Guys,
Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
stop it there.
Absolutely.
We're going to stop before the end of the film. So Lisa, Mark, thank you very much. And we will hopefully speak to you again soon.